Does it ever occur to you that when you're younger, you sort of run round in quite big circles, running through all sorts of different environments, picking up all kinds of different influences, and as you get older, you get tighter and tighter into the core of your own vortex until all you can see is the value of stand-up and nothing else, and even that is shit?
Well, that's one way of looking at it. It's a very negative way of looking at it. A positive way of looking at it is that you begin to understand more and you become more discriminatory. And there's something...
I mean, when we first met, you were sort of quite methodically ploughing a kind of obscure path through the very margins of popular culture. Yeah. Now, 25 years later, after a lot of hard work, you're doing exactly the same. Mm. Was that the plan?
It's not a plan as such, but it's happened so decisively that it is possible for me to give the impression that it was my intent.
But that's telling people something, isn't it?
What's it telling them?
I don't know.
No, nor me.
So the migrant crisis has been ongoing, hasn't it? We had a charity collection of clothes for the migrants around here in Hackney. But it's such a diverse borough, you know. There was Islamic hijabs and Orthodox Jewish skull caps and orange sort of Buddhist robes and lesbians' dungarees and one-piece gay rubber gimp suits and loads of ironic 1970s hipster soft rock T-shirts. And that was just in the bin bag I took down. See, I can do jokes, right? They say I can't do jokes. I can do jokes, it's just not something that interests me, right? I'm trying to do something else. Imagine writing jokes for a living. Oh, this sentence has ended differently to how it began. Imagine doing that over and over all day. So, I mean, it would be awful, wouldn't it? We'd be like working in a factory just folding over the same... I'd kill myself if I had to write jokes. I'd rather be dead than write jokes. But, so don't go on the internet and go, oh, we can't write jokes. I've shown you I can. I've chosen not to. Do you understand? 4 series now I've been doing this, right? I've obviously chosen to do it like this. I'm not mentally ill. And another thing. You're all right, mate. You're all right. No, let's forget it. Forget about it. Forget about it. Let's have a drink, yeah? All right.
Well, you've sort of constructed a situation in which the worse it gets, the better it gets. And certainly there's nobody at the BBC bright enough to work their way outside that trap.
I mean, they won't understand that. And, you know, and it wins awards, it gets critical acclaim. It does all the things that they say a programme is supposed to do. The only thing that it doesn't have is any honesty or core of integrity to it. Because it's produced by a man who is involved in a destructive war against an aspect of his own self, which isn't something you can say, for example, about Bake Off.
I was going through all my old T-shirts for the Migrants, and it was weird because I found a T-shirt from 1997. It said "Vote Tony Blair," right? And I found one from 2004. It said "Impeach Tony Blair," right? I found one from last April. It said "Don't vote." And I found one from last May. It said, oh, you know what I said on that last T-shirt about not voting? Oh, you probably better vote after all, actually, because, oh no, it's too late now. And I'm going to send all those T-shirts to migrants fleeing oppressive totalitarian states so they understand how a democracy can encompass a variety of contradictory opinion. Wow. How about that? That's weird, isn't it? Applause and indifference in the same room. Good metaphor for Britain. So, but the migrant crisis has brought out the very best in British newspaper columnists. I wanted to talk to him then. Walking away, wasn't he? Oh, I had a bit I was going to do there, and then... Oh. But the migrant crisis has brought out the very best in British newspaper columnists. It's too far away, mate. I'll do it another night. Well, it's too late now. I don't. It hasn't. It's brought out the worst, I think. I was using that as a rhetorical device. They all say different things, don't they? Giles Fraser, the former priest in The Guardian, he said Jesus would welcome in the migrants. And I thought, well, that's all very well for Jesus. His father's house has many rooms. One man clapping alone there at the front. When you've written a joke so dense in theological allusion that only one man applauds, you know you have no commercial future. Amanda Platel in the Daily Mail, she said, that's all very well for Jesus. Jesus wasn't trying to get back through the tunnel from a bargain weekend Euro City break for two. It's awkward when no one really laughs, but one bloke laughs a bit and late, isn't it? It's hard to fix that in the edit. And Katie Hopkins in The Sun, she would essentially just defecate onto a blank piece of paper. But do so with such precision and commitment that it becomes bizarrely compelling. A Katie Hopkins column, once seen, it can't be unseen, can it? It's very... a bit like when you're round at a friend's house and you're on the sofa and their Staffordshire Bull Terrier jumps up, doesn't it? And its massive grey mottled penis kind of swings round into your face, kind of bulbous purple head. And you're going, and they're going, are you all right? And you're going, yes, it's fine. And then you sort of move him round and their testicles are sort of coming at you like sort of two walnuts in a sort of string bag, swinging around. You're going, yeah, are you all right? And you're going, yes, it's fine. And then you move the dog round again and his anus is in your face. But because he's panting, it's sort of opening and closing and pulsating. And there's something on it, like, could be a worm, could be some kind of vein, and it's all discoloured. Could be flecks of excrement, skin tone, you don't know. And the anus is going, you all right? Yes, fine. You try and move the anus away and the dog's penis swings. It's on your eye! The dog's penis is on my eye, no! And then the testicles are sort of going on your lips. The dog's testicles. And you move it round. And the last thing you see is you push it away, the penis swinging round, the testicles, the anus opening and closing and opening and closing, the worm, the discoloration, the vein. And you know that every time you shut your eyes for the rest of your life, you will see that image. You will see that image. And that's what a Katie Hopkins column is like. But less ennobling. And Yasmin Alibi-Brown in The Independent, she just writes the same column as every week with the nouns changed. And Rod Liddell in the Sunday Times, he would, with all gravy down him, isn't he? You know what I mean? Anyway, Rod Liddell in the Sunday Times would write all gravy and like soup or something on his sleeves gone in the soup, isn't it? Rod Liddell. You know what I mean? Anyway. You know what I mean? It's Rod Liddell anyway. Sort of soupy bloke, isn't he? Anyway, Rod Liddell in the Sunday Times would write with soup and gravy, and Rod Liddell was sort of suet or something on his collar. Bit of suet on him. Anyway, Rod Liddell in the Sunday Times newspaper would sort of gravy. Soup. It's gone in the soup, hasn't it? Suet on there. Yeah, Rod Liddell in the Sunday Times. With a sort of mackerel fish kind of The paste, it's on the bit's gone on his jacket and some's on his leg as well. Rod Liddle. Anyway, do you know what I mean? Rod Liddle in the Sunday Times he would have a gravy soup, suet. Not a pate, but like a sort of spread thing. Rod Liddle from the like a Angel Delight, or it's like not mixed up, not with milk, just the powder sort of got like it's gone, and all the powder's gone on in the folds of his neck, all like in lines in the folds of his neck. Angel Delight powder in Rod Liddle's neck from the. Anyway, Rod Liddle from the Sunday Times with like a gravy and soup, like a red soup on him, suet and like a sandwich filling sort of thing. The kids' fish, Angel Delight. The powder's not. It wasn't Rod Liddle from the Sunday Times with the jelly from a pork pie. Just not the meat or the crust, just the jelly's been like sort of scooped out, and then he's like rubbed it all on there, and then he's put his shirt on, and you can see he's got like pie jelly under his shirt. Someone's smashed a glass there. It's a very arousing image. Sort of pie jelly, like it's like sort of rubbed in, and then the shirt's been done up, and people's going, ah! It's in a... Weird, because for a lot of you, the glass smashing, that's when you kind of got on board with this, wasn't it? And before, it took someone else's display of crazed emotion to convince you. There's a real air of suspicion in the room, wasn't there? Oh, what's this, People just going, oh, it's nothing, it's just a list of food on a man, Is that what you think? People are very weak tables up there in the well lit on the balcony of people nudging each other. You've been trouble, you with the glasses and the beard, you've not been on board all night, and now you exactly is a typical example of the it's just a list of food on a man constituency. It's a shame because it was building, and that's kind of I've had to deal with because the glass is smashed and there's sort of doubt in the room. It's kind of difficult to get back in to this, especially when you can sort of it's just food on a man, Carefully worked out. Yeah. Well, it is. You can't just trust me. You can't just say any. You can't. You can't just say any foods on Rod Liddle and where it is. You have to have like a. There wouldn't be people smashing their glasses if I hadn't 6 years developing an intuitive feel for what kind of food you can put where on Rod Liddle for comic effect. I'm telling you. It's not something you can learn. You have to develop a... It's not a list of... You can't just say any... You couldn't just go, Rod Liddle with a nut on his hand. No, you couldn't do that. You're laughing and you think, oh, we've got him. We've laughed at that when he said it's not funny. But you're not laughing at... I'll tell you what you're laughing at because you don't know enough about comedy to know... Right, you think you're laughing at a nut on his hand, but you're not. Because that's not funny in of itself. What you're laughing at is what a shit thing that would be if he said it, ha ha. You're laughing like one removed from it. You are, honestly, trust... Who knows the most about stand-up? Me or you? Me, right? Night after night, I think about exactly what... food is funny where on Rod Liddle, and you can't come in on a fucking TV recording and start throwing glasses around and laughing at a nut on Rod Liddell's hand, because that is not funny, I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that is not funny. You can't just say any... all right, I'll level with you. The rest of this routine is a mixture of prepared foods and places that I've carefully worked out, and others that I chance it in the moment. But even the chanced in the moment ones have a... You can't just go, Rod Liddell with a P on his there, right? Whatever that is. Do you know what the problem is? I'm so good at this, I can't even think of bad ones, right? So, because I have to close... Because every fibre of my body has been fine-tuned for over a quarter of a century to think, what food would be funny and where? And so it's entirely counterintuitive for me to stand in front of you and think of a thing... it wouldn't be funny on Rod Liddell's... Rod Liddell with a P on... What is this, anyway, here? What? Clavicle, yeah. That is funny, a P on a clavicle is funny, but if you're in the zone. You're in the zone. It's like a virus, isn't it? You think you're on board now, don't you? You think you're really... You think, come on, throw some mad stuff at us now. We've thought of a clavicle, we're in the zone. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with a kumquat. No, not where you're thinking. Get ahead of yourselves. The arrogance of them. The arrogance of them. Rod Liddell with a nut on his hand. See? Yeah, I play you like a piano. Rod Liddell. No laugh, and then I go, laugh, bang. Rod Liddell, let's see what you're made of. Rod Liddell with a kumquat near his foot. Not on him, no. What's going on? Miles Davis has arrived. Yeah. Laying down the main tune and chucking it away. Leaving the rhythm section to hold it together. Miles Davis has... Isn't the food on him? No, it's not even on him anymore. It's just near him. It's supposed to be on him. No, you can do what you want now. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times would write an article saying there was the gravy, soup, suet, like Shipham's, isn't it? Shipham's paste, remember? With the little... Remember Shipham's paste with the little lid? Used to make a popping noise, didn't it? Observational comedy. Angel Delight. Mixed up? No, powder. Jelly from a pie. Where's the meat? Where's the... I don't fucking know where that is. He's thrown it away. He's given it to a dog. Rod Liddell. The dog's run off with it. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with a nut on his hand. P on his clavicle. That was one of yours, wasn't it? Well done. Out of the mouths of babes. A stopped clock is right twice a day. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with a kumquat near his foot. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with the memory of a jar of honey on the shelf of a cupboard in the kitchen of a house that he did a share of, rented shared house, up round where the Tally-Ho pub was in Kentish Town. Remember that? Birthplace of pub rock. In about 82, he's there, Rod Liddell. A load of young 20-something guys come to London trying to make it, freelancers, You know what I mean? Sitting up late when they putting the world to rights like young guys do, you know. Oh, it's 2 a.m. Oh, what we need is collectivisation. Yeah, but you know, how's that going to get put into? Oh, you know. Anyway, who wants some toast? Well, it depends, Rod. Is there any of your honey? Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with the insides of a succession of Tunnock's tea cakes sort of spooned out and then just smashed into his face like that and left there. Like a sugary Renaissance death mask. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with OXO cubes all crumbled into his eyes. So that when he thinks of all Syrians coming over here and using libraries free, he cries a form of stock out of his eyes. The vegetable stigmata, tears of hate of Rod Liddell. They read the book free. The editor ashamed, but it drives traffic through the website. The readers, Rod's horrible tears. Honestly, the Sunday Times has currently got Rod Liddell, A.A. Gill and Jeremy Clarkson all writing for it. What's the point of that? It's like a branch of Ann Summers and all it sells is 3 different types of butt plug. Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times would write as Rod Liddell from the Sunday Times with a C120 audio tape. A recording of himself eating a poppadom at the Bengal Lancer restaurant up Kentish Town Way, about 1983. Who's even got a tape deck now? No one. No one. So if he wants to hear it, Rod Liddell, he has to go, like any of us, he has to go up in the attic and look for the old tape deck, and he dusts it down. Oh, I hope it still works, this old tape deck. Isn't that poppadom dry, Rod? Put some chutney on it or something. Rod, are you going to talk to me, or are you just going to sit there eating that poppadom in silence all night? Rod, we've come out because that we need to make plans about our relationship, and we, you know, there's a lot of things we need to sort out, and I really need you to talk to me. Rod, if you don't stop eating all those poppadoms and just talk to me about what you think our future is, I'm going to walk out of this restaurant. You're never going to see me again, and it could be your one chance for happiness in your whole life just thrown away. You know what? Every time you look at your watch, I start again.